But I can't wait for Barry Bannon to get absolute pelters.
Oh,
That's gonna be hilarious.
Yeah.
Obviously, he tweeted on the last day of the season, is anyone going out in Birmingham tonight? You know, the night we got relegated.
Yeah.
He's going to get howled on that pitch.
It will be next. You reminded him.
Yeah. So welcome back to BCFC Royal Blue. And every 5 games, myself and Dad do these mini preview videos where we look ahead to the next 5 fixtures. We give our thoughts around the teams, where they are in the league, what we might expect, and kind of give our thoughts on what a good points return might be, and where we see ourselves coming out of these next 5 games. And just to remind people of Birmingham City's next 5 games after this international break. So we play Stoke City away, we play Swansea City at home, then we play Coventry City away, Sheffield Wednesday at home, and then Wrexham away. So Dad, looking like some challenging games in there, as always, at this level in the Championship. And our first game is at Stoke City away. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is like, we did this last season, didn't we, in League One, and there were some batches of 5 that you looked at and say they were key bunches of games, weren't they? And I think because we're so early in the season and we're playing teams that have already started quite well, particularly the first 3. Yeah. When you look at the start of Stoke, Swansea, and Coventry, they've all started well.
Yeah.
And now the transfer window's ended, we've also got Wrexham in there as well. Sheffield Wednesday at home is not going to be the easy game that a lot of people might think it would be when you look at that on paper, because they're just fighting for everything, aren't they? So I think this, is a challenging set of fixtures. They're going to Stoke. We like Stoke, don't we? In terms of the actual experience of the away fixture at Stoke, it's a fairly easy journey for us, isn't it? Just
hour and 15.
The M6 doesn't take very long. And last time we went there, the season we got relegated, we actually had Tony Mowbray as manager, and we won 2-1, didn't we?
One of our 3 away wins that season, weren't it? We beat Bristol City, Stoke, and Cardiff.
Yes,
they were the only 3 games we won on the road that season, and we were there at the Bet365. It was a lovely Stansfield finish, then a Bakuna free kick, and then they made it really nervous in the last sort of 10 or 15 minutes of the game by getting one back, didn't they, at the back post? I remember Drama didn't realise someone was behind him. And they scored, and I remember thinking, oh no, that last 10 minutes when you're only 1 up and your belly's turning. But we did manage to get it over the line. But yeah, always enjoying a away day at Stoke, Dad. But before we get into the Stoke specifically, 3 of these teams right now at the time of recording, when we go into these, 3 of them are in the top 7.
Yeah. Stoke are one of them. They're in 3rd at the moment. In fact, they started off, they won their first 3 games. So obviously, as we know, at this early in the season, each team currently, at the time of recording, has only played 4 games. So Stoke beat Derby 3-1 after going 1-0 down. There's 3 late goals that they come back to beat Derby. Then they won 3-0 at Sheffield Wednesday, 2-1 at Southampton. What a great result that is. 2-1 at Southampton. And then they went and lost at home to West Brom 1-0, which is, again, it's not an embarrassment. I mean, West Brom are in 2nd. So good start for Stoke City. And, I think they've been very inconsistent, and I think Stoke fans would agree that over the last few seasons they've not been at their best. Bringing in Mark Robbins, I think, is a really good decision for them. They needed to stabilise their manager position, didn't they? Because they tried a various few things over the years. But you get a safe pair of hands with Mark Robbins. But you mentioned before that, Matt, with what he did at Coventry, it does take a bit of time to get things right.
He does.
But actually, this is only early days, but the early signs are good for Stoke. They've done a bit of business in the summer. I'm not going to go through all of them, but they like to go international on their signings. They bought in a player called Thomas Riga, central midfielder from Baník Ostrava. That's from the Czech league. That's for 4 million. Lamina Cisse from French side Bastia for 2.5 million. He's a right winger, and a good signing. We saw this guy. We didn't see him because he wasn't in our league last season, but I saw him a few times when Plymouth were in the Championship. Tolovarov, 2 million. He looked really good for them. I think, did they bring him in January? And good player. Yeah. And then there's a player they've got from Boa Vista in Portugal, Bozanek. He's a centre forward. So they've gone very international, haven't they, in their signings? I think this game is going to be a really interesting game. Yes, I think it will.
It has the makings to be quite cagey, I think.
Yeah,
both teams probing at each other.
Yeah, I think so.
A bit of a chess game.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously, one thing I do like about Stoke is their goalkeeper. They've managed to keep hold of him.
It's funny you say that, Dad, because I was waiting for an opening there to come in when you were talking, because you've just listed all their transfers. In my opinion, the best business they've done in the last couple of years is Victor Johansson.
I think there's a lot of interest in him as well.
I can't speak for his distribution because I don't watch his game that closely, but as a shot stopper, He's the best in the Championship. He's outstanding. I can't believe Premier League teams haven't came in for him, to be honest. However, the goal against West Brom was actually a Victor Johansson error. He came way off his line.
Saw that.
Didn't quite make it from a corner, and West Brom kind of basically had a tap in, really, which is a really, really uncharacteristic and goal to concede for Johansson and Stoke. But I think he's a fantastic goalkeeper there. They also have a player called Manhoof as well.
Yeah.
He's really good. I like the look of him, quite quick and flary and creates stuff. He's a bit of a, gets things going, gets the ball moving, gets that pace, gets that tempo. I think we have to look out for him as well. But I agree, Dad. I think it's going to be a bit of a cagey game, very close. I can't see either team scoring many goals in this, to be honest. I think it's going to be quite a low-scoring game. We won't give a score prediction now because we'll do that on the
we don't do score predictions on
pre-Stoke video. But I can see a low-scoring, tight game here.
Yeah, and don't forget Lewis Koumas was on loan there last season as well.
He's played a lot of football for him.
He's now with us. I think it gets mixed views again from Stoke fans on him, but we'll see how that one goes.
Yeah.
After that, Matt, we then have another home game back at St.Andrews at Knighthead Park against Swansea City.
I think Swansea could be one of those dark horses for the season. Again, I know it's 4 games in. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but I think a lot of people dub Swansea to be sort of mid-table and just below it maybe. Whereas who knows, if they keep this little bit of momentum going, they could end up having a decent season, couldn't they? Which I think is good for the Championship to have different teams pushing at different times. And I think, again, with Blues being at home here, Dad, we will dominate possession as we always do at home. I think St.Andrews is clearly a very tough place to come, especially in the league. And I still think when we look back at the end of the season, playing Swansea at home, we need to be looking at 3 points for this one, just in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, they do play possession-based football as well, particularly. Alan Sheehan's their manager, isn't he? I think they're a team over recent years that you could argue, and you've talked about these type of teams before, that sort of come down from the Premier League a number of years ago, and they just become very stale.
I call it the Championship abyss.
Yeah.
They just kind of get stuck a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's where they've been, but I think they've had a go, haven't they? They've also got Luka Modric is now a part owner in the club, isn't he?
Is Snoop Dogg as well? Or was
I thought that's Snoop Dogg as well. Yeah.
Is it Swansea Snoop Dogg, is it? Or...
I think it is Swansea.
Yeah. I know Snoop Dogg's made an investment in a club. I didn't know whether it was Swansea as well.
Yeah, so half time, just eat. but I think this game again. I think this is going to be another game where they do like to have possession. And one thing we knew when we came up from the Championship is we were not going to get the levels of domination in games that we had last season. But I do, from what we've seen so far at St Andrews, even Ipswich came and were very cagey against us. So if they play that type of style of football, it could be one of those that, where it's going to be us trying to break them down, them trying to catch us on the break again. But I'd hope they wouldn't, because I think that, they brought in players. I mean, like you mentioned, what I do like when I have watched Swansea, and I have seen a little bit of them only through the highlights, they do seem to be quite creative. And
no, they are. They're a good team.
And, you like that. They brought in an awful lot of players. I mean, I'm not going to list them all because there's too many, but just to know the type of... money they spent. There's $6 million they spent on a player called Zidane Anousa from Hacken. He's a left winger.
Decent money.
Ethan Galbraith they bought from Leighton. No, he was a good player. Now, it's a big step up. We know that from League One to.
He was a good player there. Orient was it last season?
He was one of their better players. Bobby Wales they bought from Kilmarnock for $300k. Ricardo Santos free transfer from Bolton. Cameron Burgess from Ipswich. Free transfer, you go through a few of the other players. Basically, they have spent money. They've tried to shuffle things around and tried to maybe do something slightly different this season. I think that this is a team that have the capability of potentially challenging for the playoffs, but also with a bad run of results. Yeah. They're in that sort of batch of teams that could do very well or do very poor. And a lot of people would say, well, that could be the true of any team in the Championship. But when you look at this team and you look at, they have tried to make some changes because I can't remember where they finished last season in the league, but it was below halfway. I think that they really, if they really want to push, and I suppose they want to be the dominant, Welsh team. And they've got Wrexham in there as well, haven't they?
Yeah. Also, Dad, the season's just started. The table's just taking shape.
Yeah.
Even Stoke and a lot of these teams, Carve, and they've won, let's say, 3 out of their first 4 games. If we use Stoke as an example, even teams in a relegation battle towards the end of the season can win 3 games in a row. By the way, that's not me saying Stoke are going to be in a relegation battle. My point is, with 4 games in, any team can have a 3-game run at any part of the season. It's a long season.
Yeah, it's a current form table at the moment,
exactly,
isn't it, as well? But I mean, their results, just so people know, their first 4 games, they lost 1-0 at the opening day against away to Middlesbrough, which is no embarrassment at all. Middlesbrough are top of the league and unbeaten at the moment. They beat Sheffield United 1-0 at home, then they drew 1-1 at home to Watford, and then beat Sheffield Wednesday 2-0 away. So that's their 4 games so far. So that's what they've done so far. That leaves them in 7th place on the same points as us, but 3 places above us. So we're at home. I would want and expect us to win that game. But again, another tough challenge, I believe.
I think if you think about Nighthead, Dad, and the expectation around this club and where Blues fans think we're going, if let's just say as a fan base we agree we're going to be in that mid-table to playoff push, or some fans think playoffs and automatics, whatever. Let's say mid-table above. I think when you look at the end of the season and you see Swansea at home, you got to win your home games. Don't you? Home is where you are the fortress. Home is where you're solid. That's where you pick up majority of your points. I think you got to look back at that, in my opinion, and be winning these sorts of games.
All right then, Matt. So that's Swansea. So next we're a local derby, really, for us, away to Coventry.
So this is a double-edged sword for me. I love going to the CBS.
I know what you're going to say.
Because it's close.
I know what you're going to say.
We never win there. Well, I've not seen us win there for a long time.
No, I don't know what you're going to say then. 'Cause I was thinking something else.
What were you going to say?
45 quid.
Oh, no, yeah.
Are you sure, Coventry? 45 quid for an away ticket? And that's not including the booking fee that we have to pay. I mean, that really is ridiculous. I mean, at the end of the day, right, I'm all for clubs, trying to make money and that. But if they're charging us 45 quid, what are they charging their home fans? And if they're charging the away fans more than their home fans, they're ripping off their own fans as well, because the clubs are going to charge reciprocal prices. When you come to St.Andrews, we're going to be charging your fans 45 quid to come to St.Andrews. We don't pay that much.
Just to put it into context, Dad, it's cost me and you, with booking fees, 94 quid to get to the game. When me and you usually go away,
that's including the coach.
Yeah, that includes the ticket into the stadium and the coach. But we live in Coventry, so we don't need to get a coach to this game. But basically, it's the cost of a ticket and a coach.
I actually think it's outrageous. And at the end of the day, Coventry City, fantastic that you've actually now bought your stadium. But just remember those years when you borrowed our stadium and we looked after you. And that's the way, that you repay us. I mean, I just think it's scandalous, 45. I do get that clubs will try and generate revenue through their tickets, but that is and that's a game that's on Sky, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
But
are we part of the problem for paying it?
Well, yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it did cross my mind. That,
it did cross my mind as well.
Maybe Birmingham City. I know this is a bit of a long shot, but don't buy any beer or pies there. don't even.
I was hoping to get a Guinness. I'm
saying if you do want to protest, right? Don't give any more money to Coventry City. Get to the game, enjoy the game, but don't spend loads of money at Coventry. If they're charging us 45 quid, they don't deserve our money. Yeah. And in my opinion, and I would be embarrassed if we charged away fans that amount of money.
Well, Cov fans can expect that, though, because it'll be reciprocal pricing.
But no, if we did it without reciprocal pricing.
I'm just saying. But of course, though, it's absolutely madness.
Anyway, let's go to the football rant over. I had to get that in.
Well, it's funny, Dad, because I think Stoke and Swansea have the potential to be kind of chess games and quite cagey and stuff. I think the Cov City away is going to be... It could have the potential to be end-to-end fireworks, couldn't it? Coventry are just all out. I mean, they're not gung-ho, but they score a lot of goals, Cov. They're high energy. They move the ball fast. They've got Jack Rodoni, who is their sort of creative man in the number 10. He's my biggest sort of one to watch out for them, I think.
Yeah.
And, they are a good team, Cov. I think Cov will definitely be playoffs come the end of the season.
Yeah.
If not, maybe. Who knows if they strengthen in January, depending on where they are. Because usually Cov don't get firing until Christmas, and then they have a cracking second half of the season. But it looks like they've actually got off firing early.
Yeah.
So I think Cov are going to be very good, very strong at home, like they are. I think this is going to be a very, very tight, but end-to-end kind of game.
Yeah, well, the last 2 times we've been there in the league, we've lost both times 2-0. One was under Rooney.
And one was under Eustace, weren't it?
Yeah, we lost 2-0 in both occasions.
Before that, it was 1-1. I've not seen us win at the CBS for quite a few years. It's a bit frustrating. But
yeah, and I think, it was a good appointment in Frank Lampard. He's obviously, but he did benefit from taking over, a squad with a lot of good quality players. All he's done is slightly reorganise them.
He's inherited Mark Robbins' team, is what you say, in terms of good quality players.
Yeah, and
it's a fair point.
He's got them firing, and I don't know, they scored 7, didn't they, against QPR? 5 against Derby.
They can score goals, can't they?
Clearly, and then they drew 2-2 with Oxford. I give you their results. I'll give you most of them.
And they drew with Hull on the opening game of the season.
Yeah, well, that's all their results now. Cheers.
So
Started off 0-0 at home to Hull City, then 5-3 away to Derby, then 7-1 at home to QPR, and then 2-2 against Oxford. And I think the Oxford result surprised a lot of people because Oxford hadn't won a game, and they'd come off scoring 12 goals in the previous 2 games. But that's the Championship. They're currently 5th in the table on 8 points. And as you mentioned, Matt, the difference this season is they have made a good start. That everybody, like you said, no, don't worry until about 7 or 8 games in. They won't get any points or whatever.
Coventry's usually Christmas.
Yeah,
they're really slow starters usually.
And they go on a good run.
They do, yeah.
So I think they'll be playoffs as minimum this season. I do, and they could be in those automatic top 2 places. Again, a tough away game for us. We had that against Leicester as well, didn't we? We went to Leicester in our last away game.
The King Power and the CBS are just 2 stadiums we never do very well in our eyes. It is frustrating, but we're a fresh new Blues. I think we're going to give them a better game than we have done over the last 2 years. Put it that way. We did beat them 3-0 at our place in the year we went down, and I think
a lot of people said that's because they were saving their players for the FA Cup semi-final.
Well,
against Man United.
if that was the case, that was the case. But we still won 3-0.
Yeah.
We can't take it away. We still got 3 points and we still won 3-0. But I mean, they were poor, I must admit. But I hope we win this game. It's a tough one. And no doubt that, we're going to have our work cut out for us at the CBS.
Yeah, game we're looking forward to, nevertheless.
Yeah, next ad, I mean, I'll hand this one to you because I've started the next 3. In fact, you can finish us off on the Sheffield Wednesday and Wrexham. But, after Coventry, Dad, that takes us to Sheffield Wednesday at home. What are your thoughts for that game?
That's at home. That's on a midweek, isn't it?
It is. It's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. I think so. I've got the dates up here. So just scrolling through and checking. It's going to be one of them games that everybody's going to expect us to win because it's Sheffield Wednesday and the turmoil that the players have had to release. And I do have a lot of sympathy for Sheffield Wednesday. Their owner wants a ridiculous amount of money to sell him, which he's not going to get because he's got an asset that is just diminishing in value all the time and just saying, I still want this amount for it. That's like saying, you've got a X amount of year old car that's diminished in value, but you want the top price for it from when it was, and it's not going to happen. So I don't know how they're going to resolve this as well. That's on the 30th of September at 7:45 kickoff. Yeah, so again, but we've seen from their results so far that they've lost 3 and drawn 1. So they lost 2-1 at Leicester.
I saw that
we
game.
lost there as well. Yeah, that's when the protest came.
They went 1-0, didn't they? Yeah.
They lost 3-0 at home to Stoke. Then they drew 2-2 against Wrexham away after being 2-0 down. And then they lost 2-0 at home to Swansea. So it's not been a great start for them. We're the home team here. They will know that we spent a lot of money on our squad over the last couple of seasons, so we'll be massive favourites. But I don't think this makes this game easy because if you're a Sheffield Wednesday player and you know that everybody is going to expect you to to struggle, you're going to come to every game. You're going to give everything. I think these are like wounded animals. They're the worst teams to play, particularly when you're expected to be. But having said that, we should, Birmingham City, with what we've done with our squad, we should be looking to win this game.
Again, the Blues fans will appreciate this. Pre-Nighthead and in the old days, this is the exact Blues game that we'd be expected to win and we'd lose. Like back in the day, I'm talking here. This is the exact kind of game that Blues, all on paper, all in the odds, everything. It's in the stars for us to win it. Blues would go and lose this game, as in the old Blues typically. And I'm sure a lot of the fan base will know exactly what I mean by that. But there's no doubt about it. They are in a mess. It's a mess, and it's not pretty to see. Is that me personally, I still value good old British football club. Sheffield Wednesday are a big club historically in this country.
Well, very well supported.
Well supported, big football club. To see them going through that's never nice. And I know I've said this a lot on this podcast. We didn't go through exactly what they did to their level, but we have had our own turmoil over the last 12 years, and we know what it's like to be ran by really, really bad owners. So agree with you, Dad. Sympathy to Sheffield Wednesday. We're going to be firm favourites to win this, but as you said, it's the wounded animal. But I can't wait for Barry Bannon to get absolute pelters. That's gonna be hilarious. Obviously, he tweeted on the last day of the season, "Is anyone going out in Birmingham tonight? The night we got relegated."
Yeah.
He's gonna get howled on that pitch.
It would have actually reminded him. But they've only brought in 2 loan signings, and obviously these are one from Cardiff, Ethan Horvath, goalkeeper, and Harry Amas, a left back from Man United, 18-year-old. Players have gone out. Gassama went to Rangers for 2.4 million. Michael Iekwe, centre-back, went to Blackpool. Malik Wilkes, Poland Valentin, Michael Smith, Josh Windass, Callum Patterson, Akin Famoiso, I mean, it goes on. I
The
mean,
majority of them left for free as well because they were
Yeah.
just, it was the mutual agreement because they weren't getting paid their money on their contract.
yeah.
So
because
they've
they
lost. They didn't just lose good players; they've got no money for them.
Well, the only person that on my records they got a fee was for Gassama, 2.4 million. But we would be expected to win. Now, clearly, they will be pleased. The only bright light for them, there is a team below them, and that's Sheffield United in the league.
But Sheffield United will swing it round. I have no
They
doubt.
will. So I. Would hope that that would be a game that we would win, but we know that no game in the Championship easy. But still, we've got to play everybody home and away at some point,
Yeah.
and it happens to be at that point we'll play them.
That brings on to our last game, Dad, and it's these are the biggest spenders in the Championship this season. They've got to be up there if they're not. But that brings us on to Wrexham away.
I don't think they're quite the biggest spenders. There's biggest spenders are promoted clubs. Obviously, you had lots of Ipswich that spent.
Cool. Oh yeah, of course. I forgot about the Premier League teams.
But they bought in a lot of players. I mean, I'm going to name them, not positions, not where they cover. These are the players they bought in: Nathan Broadhead, Callum Doyle, Lewis O'Brien, Liberace Kassiri, Kiefer Moore, Connor Cody, George Thomason, Ryan Hardy, Josh Windass, Danny Ward, Dominic Hyam, Ben Sheaf, Isaac Kabore, and Ruben Egan.
No, some good players, Dad.
Yeah, I
Some
mean,
good
but
players.
we mentioned this in previous podcasts as well with Wrexham. Though is that they would needed to do that. We
I still think they've paid. Just in my humble opinion, I think they've still paid above and beyond for some players.
I think most of them.
I think Kiefer Moore was inflated. I think
He's doing well, I mean.
Nathan Broadhead was inflated as well. But it's one of those things. If they've got it to spend, fair play to them. But
Well, according to my records, they paid 2.3 for Kiefer Moore.
yeah, but look at his age and his contract.
He's 32. Yeah, I don't know what contract.
It was in the last year of his contract.
But he started the season well. But Nathan Broadhead, I mean, 8.7 million.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
And Ben Sheaf was so rumoured about 6 million. As good a player he is, I mean, Ben Sheaf, he's 27 is a decent age, actually. But having said that, though, that's still a lot of money. But I think to get the players that they wanted, they might have, had to sort of go slightly over the odds for some of their players.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say about Wrexham, though, as well, we know all about their back to back and their all their promotions that they've had, which has been absolutely brilliant. But that's been based on a core set of players that have been there for most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about your Ollie Palmers.
Yeah.
You've got. So I have to go through to remind myself of all the names of the players that have been there. Jack Marriott, Paul Mullin. George Evans has gone now. He went to Burton. Stephen Fletcher last season.
But you're right, though, Dad. There's been a core Wrexham team, hasn't there? And, it's been based on being united and a team spirit, and that what's the manager's name again? Parky. They call him.
James McLean's been there as
James
well.
McLean
He's
as
still
well.
there. Yeah,
But they have been a well put together group.
Yes.
In that time.
So I think they're and I think they've already shown in their last fixture where they had their first win where they beat Millwall. Let's just go for their fixtures. Actually, 4 fixtures so far. They lost 2-1 at Southampton. They lost 3-2 at home to Wrexham. Then they beat drew 2-2 with Sheffield Wednesday, and then they beat Millwall 2-0 at Millwall, which I thought was a great result.
That is a good result.
But they're a team that may take some time to gel and to get used to each other, because it is a completely different team that was on that pitch last season. Whereas if you get promoted and you've got a core of a team and you build around, at least you've got that nucleus. Yeah. I think this is a brand new team that might take a little while to adjust.
But, like it was in League One, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I actually think they bought very well. If you look at their players that they've got there's some good experienced Championship players in there. So I think they've done very well in the Championship.
Also, I guess it's one side complementing the other. But what's wrong with being ambitious as well? Blues are a club that are ambitious at the minute. Wrexham are being ambitious. It's good to see another club spending a bit of money.
They had to be.
I totally get it, but at least they've done it. They didn't bottle it.
Yeah.
Some clubs go up to the Premier League and they don't spend. Some clubs come up to the Championship. Rotherham, they come to the Championship so often and they never invest and they just go straight back down.
Yeah.
At least Wrexham have had a crack. They've got a little bit of ambition, a little bit of drive. They're well funded. Fair play to them. I mean, I think they will be. I think they'll consolidate this season. They'll settle into the Championship. They'll do quite well. I don't think they'll be playoff contenders, in my opinion. But they will push on in the next year, maybe from January into the summer next year. And that's the way to do it. Yeah. Progressively keep pushing forward.
I think that they wanted to make sure that they could build a team that could at least compete in this league, and I think they've done that by the looks of it. They'll go on and find that they're going to have like bad patches and they'll have good form results. But I think that result against Millwall in their last 18 will give them a lot of encouragement, because that is a decent Millwall team that nearly made the playoffs last season. They've gone there and beat them 2-0.
Set up very well now.
Yeah,
You know, they've got a good
so,
manager.
and
So
don't forget we're away as well to them.
Yeah.
We drew 1-1 there last season in
We
League
did.
One, but they're two very different teams, both us and them. I think this will be an interesting game because I think they will want to get that home record back that they've always had, and they lost 3-2 to Albion, didn't they?
did.
At home, and I think that Wrexham are a team that are going to pretty much rely on their home form.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll be very disappointed. As much as they would have been happy with that win at Millwall, they'll be very disappointed to drop those 2 points against Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
When they were 2-0 up.
They lost to West Brom at home as well, didn't they?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You know, as you said, it was a bit of a fortress last season, wasn't it?
Yeah, losing away at Southampton's no embarrassment either in the first game.
But it was the way they did it though. 290+ goals.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Anyway, Dad, I'm very wary of time here. So I want to ask you one last question before we finish then. You always do this to me, but I'm going to do it to you. 5 games, you've seen the opponents, we've talked about them all. What would be a good points return for Blues out of these coming next 5 games?
I think anything between 7 and 9 points on those fixtures, okay, because there's some tough away games there. Now you might think, well, 7 to 9 points. So what am I saying? I'm saying like that's
2 wins and a draw,
2 wins and a draw,
3 wins and 2 losses.
defeats. Yeah. So round about that area there, because I think that it would be, you know, if we could get 15 points. I mean, come on, let's be realistic here. This is now the Championship, and
I'm going to say, Dad, to save it, we ain't getting 15
no,
points.
no,
from
of
these
course
5 games.
not. That's what I'm saying. 7 to 9. I know some Blues fans may comment, "Oh, come on, Gary, be realistic. You know, we're a much better team." I know we are, but we're playing against better teams as well. And I'm not being down on Blues at all. I'm very, very optimistic about the season. Very optimistic. But looking at that set of 5 fixtures,
Also, Dad, if you get 7 points every 5 games, at the end of the season, you get 80+ points. That's more than enough to get you into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So let's not sniff our noses at getting 7 points every 5 games.
Yeah.
That's a good return on your investment. And 80 points gets you in the playoff conversation. In fact, in most years, it gets you a playoff space. So if we can keep doing that every 5 games,
I think 7 to 9 for me, I'd accept. Any more than that is a bonus in those 5 fixtures there.
Yeah. I think I can. I'm 100% with you. Somewhere between 7 to 9 to me would be great. 12 to 15 would be like on cloud 9, and we're going for the automatics level. But no, I would be happy with that, Dad. 7 to 9. I think that's a perfectly reasonable point to return.
Yeah.
I think sometimes I have to put my head off Mars. You know, sometimes I do get a little bit excited, and there's nothing wrong with being ambitious, but sometimes you do have to come down to earth, don't you? And accept we are in a tougher league this year. We are in the Championship. You know, Cov away, Stoke away, Wrexham away, and even Sheffield Wednesday and Swansea aren't going to roll over. So these are good teams to play, so I'd be happy with 7 points.
Yeah, it's the away fixtures there, isn't it?
Yeah.
That you look. I mean, not think that, you know, the home fixture is. We've already spoken about that, but those away fixtures, when you look at them, Stoke, Coventry, and Wrexham, in the next 5 games, you know, I think they're going to be games that we'd like to pick up as many points as we can. But we've said before, Matt, we're going to drop points in the Championship.
Exactly.
It's the nature of the league.
Absolutely. But as always, Birmingham City supporters, we would love to hear from you. Maybe you've tuned in because you've seen the thumbnail and maybe your club's been referenced. You know, we'd love to hear from you as well. Please keep all those comments respectful, though. We value everyone's opinion, we really do, but just make sure there's no foul or abusive language. We would really, really appreciate it. And if you like this video specifically, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and check us out on our social media channels. We have an X page, we have an Instagram page, and we're also over on Spotify, so you can listen and watch us over there. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and press that bell icon so you get notified every time we post. And myself and Dad will see you on the next one, all about Birmingham City.